Hi, wrestling fans. This is Bill Dundee. So when you're around town, you tune in to IYHWrestling.com, and I promise you won't be disappointed.
All right, we're back. Welcome to In Your Head Wrestling Radio. I am the internet icon, Jackie Jones, along with my right-hand man.
1 inch biceps, the power goat. Yeah.
Well, that's not too bad. And joining us right here, it's been 3 weeks in the making, but we've got him on here. We got him back. We've got Dirty Dutch Mantell with us. How are you doing tonight?
Well, I finally made your show after you called me every name in the book. Now I'm here to defend myself, so I'm going to find out what you call me, and then we're going to have a big on-air argument here, and we'll start this thing.
Do you still have the handlebar mustache?
I do.
All right, because we were saying, you know,
the only real men can grow that crap. I do. Sometimes I turn it down and then I turn it out. I turn it out like a silent degree and then I turn it down. You know, and so you know how Hogan's mustache goes down. Mine goes down a little, you know, about an inch below that. So, and I've had that for years.
That's one of the rules in my book. Never fight a man with a handlebar mustache. So I'm going to leave you alone, Dutch.
I thought you could just grab it like a handlebar and drag the man around.
So who slammed me on this show for not making? It
was all Jack.
What?
Jack, did you do it?
I did. I'll stand up and admit it.
All right. So, seriously, I hate to. I'm gonna be serious here. I hate to tell somebody I'm gonna do a show and then something happens. Because I wouldn't want it to happen to me. And I told you this on a private phone conversation. And the fans are better, and you know, I just had a couple of unfortunate circumstances that I could not make the show. Tonight, I still have an unfortunate circumstance that I may need to attend to, but out of professional courtesy, I made the show. See how good I am?
You're a good man, yeah. And, you know, we'll have you back on at some other time, and we could do it some more. But anyway, I want to let everybody know, August 2nd through the 5th in Charlotte, North Carolina, you're going to be at the NWA Wrestling Legends Fan Fest weekend. This will actually be our 7th time in attendance. And for all the information, it's NWALegends.com. The link's right on the website. And you're going to be a big part of this because Thursday night is the evening with Dutch. Can you explain to everybody what that's about?
Well, Thursday night I'm going to do probably my first comedy stand-up routine. And it's in the stuff that I have done in cars going down the road, you know, with other wrestlers in the car. And it got a reaction then, so I'm going to try it. See, other wrestlers are doing it. I'm going to try my hand at it, too, see what the hell see what happens.
Yeah. Now, have you seen Mick Foley or Roddy Pipers?
I've seen Foley. I haven't seen him. I've seen him on YouTube. And, you know, pretty good. I mean, he's not slap your knee funny.
Right.
And he tells good stories. And that's similar to what I do, except funnier, I think. And Piper, I haven't heard Piper. I don't know. Is he any good?
Yeah, his is really good. I think it's kind of the same kind of idea where it's you know, telling stories of the wrestling business and they kind of both kind of play the other characters a little bit. But I think Piper's is a little more polished, but he's been doing it for a little longer.
Yeah. Well, mine is not polished by any stretch of the imagination. But hey, you got to start somewhere, so I'm gonna start with people kind of like me.
Yeah.
Instead of going cold turkey into a club, people say, "Who in the fuck's that son of a bitch?" You know. And you know, I hate to have to beat up half the club before I leave. That's not good. You know, you don't even get invited back when you do things like that. So I like to do it in front of people who are a little more forgiving, I think. So
yeah,
that's what I'm going to do. Did I meet you guys at the Fan Fest? What, 2007, 2008?
Yeah, it was a few years ago, and I think it was. I think you were at one of the booths. You weren't like you know, one of the official guests.
No, I was at one of the booths. Yeah, I was over there doing some guys. I ain't forgot who I was there for, to tell you the truth. And I remember that day.
But you remember us, so that makes me feel good.
Yeah, I do remember you. I was when you said, "Hey," and you said, "In your head," right?
Yeah, we did a little interview.
I do remember that. I don't know how, but I do.
Yeah, probably
you guys made. I don't know what you look like, but you made an impression on me, so for some reason.
Yeah.
So anyway, what I'm going to be there, I'm going to have my 2 books with me. I'm going to have my new DVD with me called Dirty Memphis. And the reason I came up with Dirty Memphis is because of the movie Memphis Heat. They didn't include me in the movie for some reason. So they put Lawler in it, and they put Dundee in it, and Handsome Jimmy, and everybody else, and left out Dirty Dutch. I said, how in the hell can they leave out Dirty Dutch? And I swear I've had a lot of a lot of questions concerning, why weren't you in the movie? And I said, hell, I don't know. They didn't call me. I guess because they didn't want me, I guess. I don't know. So I did talk to the guy on chat or Facebook or something. And he said, we couldn't find you. I went, what the hell? You can't find me. I had the same phone number for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, I had a blog up, and my email address was everywhere, so that just doesn't really fly that we can't find you. I mean, in this day and age, you can find anybody.
There was a lot more obscure guys on the DVD that you don't hear much of, much from. Like you said, like some of the older guys were on that Memphis Heat DVD, and I'm sure they were a lot harder to track down than you. Like you said, you're all over the internet.
The big Memphis run was it's 30 years ago, like 80 to 84, 85. That was the hot run. Their best year was 82. That was the year me and Lawler started off the year. It was a hot feud between me and Lawler. Mm-hmm. Because we were both good guys, and we split the house in Memphis, which surprised me, and because Lawler never got booed in Memphis ever, but they booed him that night, and it surprised me, surprised him, to tell you the truth. And then following that was the Andy Kaufman thing, and we ran through that year like it was a hot year, probably the best year ever in Memphis. Mm-hmm. And but if the movie had some obscure guys from the early years, it's okay, but I think that's the area they need to concentrate on. And that's what my DVD, I call it Dirty Memphis, and that's what I talk about. Of course, I talk about other things, too. And there's some video on there and a special bonus photo gallery. It should be good. It should be out around first week in June.
That sounds awesome.
Now, I'm sure you talked about this on the DVD, but what's like the different psychology when you're doing good guy versus good guy match as opposed to a traditional bad guy versus good guy match? There isn't there? I don't know.
No, the psychology is, listen, the first thing you want to do is have a great match. Mm-hmm. You want to have a great competitive match. And to me, I've always said, hey, let the people decide. But see, with me and Lawler, it didn't matter what I did to him. My fans are going to like it. Mm-hmm. Didn't matter what he did to me, his fans are going to like it. So it was and I was watching the match back, not too long ago, and we went about really 5 minutes without even touching. We back up and push off, and we kind of brought the people into it. Mm-hmm. And you could see the build. If you really watch it, you could see a build in that match and see it coming and how it ended, and we ended it in such a way that it left the door open for about 3 or 4 other things coming out of it. Mm-hmm. And that is the mark of not only good booking, but actually good business sense, to tell you the truth. Because when you get the fans thinking about, well, boy, that would be a good matchup. Boy, I'd like to see this, and I'd like to see that. So when they walk out the door that night, what you want them saying is, the first thing you want them saying is, I enjoyed it. You want them thinking that, I enjoyed that. Second thing you want to have them thinking is, I want to see more of it. See, without repeat business in Mustang, you don't have any business, period. Mm-hmm. And before we went on the air today, remember we were talking MMA? Mm-hmm. And I said that I'm not a real big fan of MMA because to me it's boring as hell. That's why wrestling, you can make it exciting, you can make it entertaining. MMA is what it is. To me, if they had a free show, I'm looking at 2 houses down from mine. If they had a free show and 2 houses down, I wouldn't walk down there to see it. I don't care who they had. Mm-hmm. I just wouldn't go. I'm just not an MMA fan. Yeah. Period. I'm not really a boxing fan. Maybe the big fights, like Pacquiao and Mayweather. That kind of intrigues me. But they've never met up before, so it may be once in a lifetime type encounter. That may interest me. But to see a couple of guys, 2 MMA guys, lock up, I don't care if one shot the other's brother. I don't care. Doesn't matter.
The last time I was following
it doesn't interest me, but in wrestling, you can make it mean something. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference between professional wrestling and mixed martial arts. Mm-hmm. He said, mixed martial arts is real. I don't give a crap. It's still boring. I've seen boring fights on the street. One guy punch another guy, and he gives up. Oh, well. Sometimes, and actually, a real fight doesn't go long.
Mm-hmm.
A real fight might go, I don't know, 30 seconds. One quits, the other don't want to fight or whatever, and then somebody breaks it up.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real fight.
Yep.
And
Well, that's another.
I've been in a lot of fights, and just like that, it lasted 20, 30 seconds or whatever. It don't last long.
Mm-hmm. I'll say it's another
if I
thing
was ever in a
wrestling
fight and I
always
thought I was going to get the shit kicked out of me, first thing I'd do, I wouldn't. I'd hightail it out there and try to get me. I'd try to recover or regroup and come back later. I stand there and get the shit kicked out of me. I wasn't a big fan of that.
Can't blame you there.
I'll say that's another thing wrestling has over. I mean, you control how long the matches are going to be. If you buy a MMA pay-per-view or boxing pay-per-view, you might get a 10-second fight. If you're getting a wrestling one, if it's booked right or whatever, that you're gonna get something more longer than 10 seconds anyway.
Yep. Well, that's the thing about the wrestling. You can kind of dictate what kind of show you got. MMA, again, it is what it is. So, hey, let's just say I'm just not a big MMA fan.
All right.
I don't even watch it on free TV. I want something that, if I'm going to watch TV, I want something that's going to be interesting and it's going to have a point. Hopefully, it will have closure to it. So
I think you're on the right show because we're not very big MMA fans either.
No, we only talked about it when Brock was there because we like Brock Lesnar.
Well, they said, we don't like Brock Lesnar because, he's too much pro wrestling. Yeah, I bet when he did the $1 million buy rate.
Yeah.
I guess that bothered Dana White. Now he's saying, God, give me another pro wrestler in here that people know. And he can thank Vince McMahon for making Brock Lesnar a household name, or at least in the same circles, he makes him a name that Dana White can capitalize on.
Mm-hmm. The greatest thing we ever saw, we talked about on the show, was when he won. Who was the guy he beat Intra? Then he started riding around. Yeah, he beat Heath Herring and started riding around the ring like a cowboy. And then he was just totally trashing the guy. And like all the MMA purists, they just hated it. But I just thought it was the greatest thing I ever saw in MMA. If that was on there all the time, I'd watch.
Well,
because it was there was actually some personality.
Hey, let's talk pro wrestling, guys. Hell, it's even boring talking about MMA. To tell you the truth, I'm not even. I can't even get stimulated enough to talk about MMA. I just don't like it.
Well, when you were talking earlier about the Lawler match, and it was babyface versus babyface, and you said you like to let the crowd decide. Now, have you ever been in the ring? When you were supposed to be the bad guy, and everyone's cheering for you, and they're booing the good guy. So how do you change that up? As a good guy,
sometimes that happens, and it happened a lot in the late '80s because the fans were getting more sophisticated, and they were getting more. They were reading all the dirt sheets, and they thought they were like smart fans, which I wanted to slap the shit out of them because they thought they knew so much more than they actually thought. They thought they knew more than they actually did. They knew nothing, but they were still fans, and I'd be fine with that. But don't try to ruin it for other people. Mm-hmm. See what I mean? See, I've had hecklers out there. I'm gonna tell you a story. I wrestled Memphis, and this was after they got out of the Mid-South. This was years ago. They were in a flea market in Memphis, and I remember I wrestled. I think I wrestled Lawler, and they had one guy out there, and he kept getting up all through the show and heckling the wrestlers and heckling the wrestlers. He kept on and on and on. But what he was, the fans finally wanted to see somebody shut him up. So I remember me and Lawler, we were brawling outside the ring, and he got up, and Lawler was down, and he made some sound. I said, "Hey, what'd you say?" And he said, "Yeah, man." And I open hand slapped him, and the place popped big time. They didn't see somebody slap him. I slapped him and knocked him back down in his chair, and he didn't. And when you open hand slap somebody, you can almost knock them out. That's better than a punch sometimes. Mm-hmm. And the people popped. And I remember the next day we had Memphis TV, and I remember. There was a guy in Memphis at one time. He took it over. This was after Memphis sold to this other group, Selker, whatever it was, out of Cleveland or whatever, some mixed up deal. A guy named Larry Burton brought the guy back into the dressing room. He says, "Don't you know the guy you slapped last night?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, bring his ass back here." And he walked in, and he looked at me, and he was mad. I could tell he's mad. He's a big old boy, too, bigger than I was. Mm-hmm. I said, "Hey, we okay? We cool, man?" He went, "Yeah, we cool." I said, "You okay?" "Yeah, I'm okay." I said, "All right." And we just stood there and looked at each other. And he wanted to say more, but I done slapped the shit all of him one time. I don't think he wanted to chance the second go around. so he walked out. But I could tell he didn't like getting slapped, but I didn't like, him getting up out there and acting like a fool during my match, and not only disrespecting me, but disrespecting the other fans. Mm-hmm. I hate that. That bothers me anyway. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that was in my crazy days.
You think that's even worse now? Fans, this quote-unquote smart marks trying to, root for the bad guys? Or
nah, that don't happen anymore, because that's if they do that, hell, it's not 1990 anymore. People look at them like, shut up and sit down, you goofball. But see, most of those fans have gravitated toward Ring of Honor, mm-hmm. which is another thing I want to talk about, because their stuff is great. They just did too much of it, I think. Mm-hmm. After a while, I'm going, God, please, how much more can you do? God, please, oh, stop. And I mean, I think they have some great talent on that show. Great. They do great stuff. They just wear it out. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of times you hear they don't have enough wrestling on the show. There's a company that went totally the other way, and they have too much wrestling on the show. Uh-huh. Give me some bullshit in there. I booked Puerto Rico between 1999 to about 2004, 3 or 4. And, hell, we would just regularly sell out 12 to 14 to 16,000 seat stadiums. And it wasn't because of the great wrestling we were doing, or they were doing. I wasn't wrestling. I was just booking it. We sold out because it was a great TV show and it was entertaining as hell. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we do those ratings, unbelievable ratings. Hell, sometimes on Sundays we do 14, 15, 16 ratings. Not all the time, but I have hit an 18 there one time. A lot of people said, bullshit. And I did. Because it was more than a wrestling show. It was a kind of I can't explain it, but it was a fun show. Mm-hmm. The announcer, everything wasn't, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to, it was just a fun show to watch. Mm-hmm. And we'd go in these stadiums and sell it out. I wrote 2 books, and I talked about this last time I was on the show. Mm-hmm. I think. I wrote one book called The World According to Dutch, which you can still buy on Amazon. And I wrote the second one a year later called Tales from the Dirt Road. And what this is, it's just a compilation of stories and that happen either directly to me or around me during my course in wrestling business. And they're entertaining books, and, I don't call nobody an SOB, and nobody's an MFer, and nobody screwed me around, and nobody jacked me here, and nobody cut me off there, and there was no big conspiracy. I hate to read shit like that. I mean, if you got to sit back at the end of your career and say, well, I'd have done better had not this happened, and, well, yeah. If a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his ass when he jumped around.
That's something my grandfather said all the time.
Yeah, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle, too. So, but see, I don't make excuses. I just tell stories. And that's what I think people want to read. Mm-hmm. And if they don't want to read it, they want to, and I'm sure they read the other books for a lot of other things, but I don't really put a spin on it. I don't have a message to give. It's just a story that I almost liken it to getting in the car with me and we're making this long trip and I just start talking. And it's not even in chronological order. It may be in 1992 and then it may jump to 2005. Mm-hmm. But it's actually the way people talk. When you start talking about somebody, they don't say, well, it all started in 2001. Then in 2000, they don't talk that way. They jump all over the place. And eventually you piece all that together and you finally find out the story. Mm-hmm. That's the way the book is. Mm-hmm. And you can still find it on Amazon. Just Google my name or go into Amazon and search for Dutch Mantell and they'll pop up there. So if anybody's interested in reading them, mm-hmm. which I hope there's a few anyway.
Oh, definitely. I'm really looking forward to the DVD too.
Well, it'll be good. And like I said, I'm going to Charlotte and. See, they took it to Atlanta last year. I don't think it did too well in Atlanta.
Yeah, we were there too. Wasn't the same crowd?
Different crowd, right?
Yeah, it was different. Not nearly as many people there. Mm-hmm. It was still a lot of fun, but it wasn't. Also, for anybody who goes to the one in Charlotte, the hotel itself, there's so many things around it. You can actually walk around and go to different places, and I think it's a better place to hold it.
Very good.
The one in Atlanta was just the middle of nowhere. There's no place you could walk to.
Well, let me tell you one thing. The latest thing I've been involved in is called the Ring of King series in India, which is probably one of the most enjoyable things I've done in wrestling, and probably the last. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed a lot of things I've done, but this here was I really liked it. I mean, the country India is not so hot, but the way they had it set up and the way we did it, it almost reminded me of the way things were 20 years ago, or more, because it was a virgin crowd. They'd never really seen professional wrestling before. And, but they didn't really buy, I'm going to tell you, they bought silly stuff. They loved silly stuff. They would respond to that. And the culture in the country is so much different than the United States. They're very respectful. Of course, they're poor. They're dirt poor. But they're very nice. I mean, as a people, they're very nice, very cordial, very accommodating. And there's certain things you can't do. You can't show a flag on TV. Women have to be modestly dressed. They can't, people going to the ring halfway naked, they don't put up with that. They can't do this. And it was a different culture that we had to adjust to. Of course, the TV people that we did it with, they explained all this stuff to us, especially when we did it. We had one girl go out there and said, "Oh, she can't do that. She's showing too much cleavage." I said, "Well, I don't know. Throw a towel over. I don't know what to do. Tell her to put I don't know. Throw a burqa on her head. I don't know. we'll do something. We'll wrap her in a sheet or something." But we got through it, and but it was good. I thought India would be a really, really hot country. Actually, it was kind of cool there. And you get up every morning, and it looks like fog, but it's not fog because it's kind of it wasn't cold, but it wasn't warm. So usually fog's on like cool days. It wasn't cool enough for fog, and I asked them, "What is this?" They said, "It's smoke." I says, "What do you mean smoke?" They said, "A lot of people don't have electricity, so they still actually cook their food." I mean, this is a modern town. Not a modern town, but this is 2012. You would think people would have some luxuries, but they still cook the food in heat with wood. So what I'm seeing is it's not fog, it's smoke. And you can smell it. And they do, believe me, India is a different planet. So when you get back to the United States, you can say, "Thank God I'm here."
Was that fun though to see the reaction from the people from doing simple things and whatnot?
Oh yeah. And we had a full house every night, 2,500 people.
I watched some of the shows on YouTube, and the crowd was so hot. I really enjoyed Scott Steiner coming. I'm a big fan of Scott Steiner,
and Steiner, he got over like a son of a gun. And he went. To me, those people like that, they was, because I've been to Puerto Rico and had shit beat on me with fans, but they weren't like that. They didn't want to fight, but they got scared of Steiner. Steiner and the best they were scared of, and they ran. So.
I think he
but anyway,
enjoyed that
hey guys,
himself.
listen, I don't want to cut this short, but I may have to run around the corner here in just a second.
Yep.
I'm going to be in Charlotte the first week in August. Come and see me. My books can still be purchased on Amazon.com. My DVD is coming out within the next 2 weeks maybe, and it's called Dirty Memphis, The Way I See Memphis by Dirty Dutch. And you can find me if anybody wants to email me, Dirty Dutch Mantell with 2 L's. at gmail.com, or you can catch me on Facebook.
Cool. Well, thank you for coming on.
I appreciate it, guys, and I apologize for the last 2 missed encounters, so I hope this makes up for it.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll have you on some other time if you like. Maybe when the DVD comes out. And I just want to announce real quick, too, that Exotic Adrian Street was just announced for his first ever Fan Fest appearance.
Great.
So that'll be cool. Thanks, man.
Thank you, man. Take care. Bye-bye.
Well, mercy, baby, this is Big Mama Felicia Valiant, and I'm on In Your Head Radio. I listen to it all the time, and I want all my fans to listen to the best. And Mr. Jack, I'm waiting on you, baby. Woo, mercy.